Welcome to LOA Today. Walt Thiessen and life coach Cindie Chavez here on this Wednesday, October the 31st, 2018. It is 4 p.m. New York time. It is, I believe, 8 p.m. London time. And it is 1 p.m. Los Angeles time. So there we are with the three main time zones that we're usually trying to cover here. We are live streaming this to the Law of Attraction Changed My Life group in Facebook. And this is a pre-planned event in the group, so we're anticipating hopefully a number of people tuning in to join in on a guided meditation that Cindie has put together. And she's worked very hard. She's been slaving away at this, and I know that you were really, really working hard on this. Did you get it all done in time?
Yeah, it's all done in time.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I had no doubt, actually, but no, I had to teach you about that.
It's really a wonderful thing to schedule in the time to meditate, right? And to find that place of deep relaxation that allows us to let go of resistance and be ready to create whatever it is we're creating in life. Mm-hmm. And really, a lot of times people don't schedule it in, and we think, oh, I'll grab some time in the day somewhere when I find some extra time.
Yeah. Yep.
What did you say? Extra time? What is that? Who has that? Who has some of that?
Well, isn't it Abraham who says that we have all the time in the world, that we have endless amounts of time, where we just think we have less time, so we do?
Well, as far as I know, we all have the same amount of time in a day, and we get to decide what to do with it. It's not the time that's the problem. It's us trying to cram so much into it, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
That seems to be the issue. But I know that in my own personal practice anyway, meditation, different forms of meditation, and, being able to center myself, ground myself, deeply relax. I mean, all of these things lead to better success with manifesting anything. Mm-hmm. And it's good for our health. There's a lot of reasons why it's important to practice, but it is a practice. And when you're first beginning, and even if you've been a meditator for a long time, I think a guided meditation is really great, because it's something for you to focus on instead of just expecting, to be able to stay focused on silence or on nothing, which is not as easy as when you can follow someone's voice. So
yeah, that's true. I remember I've told you before about how there's one particular guided meditation I had that was really, really great, and it was actually the very first one I ever had. It was good. I don't know how long ago. It must have been like 25, 30 years ago, something like that. But it was just spectacular. I mean, at the end of it, and apparently not everybody had the same experience that I did. A lot of people who were in the group did, but some of them didn't. But the experience I had was, I was just blown away, because it was not just a guided meditation, but it was like sort of a astral trip kind of a thing. And when we were all done, I felt like I'd flown around the solar system. It was really wild.
Cool.
So, yeah. Yes. It was really good.
Well, today I put together a very basic meditation for deep relaxation. And what I did was I kept in mind as I was creating it that this is a group of conscious creators. This is a group of people that the reason why they're here and the reason why they're members of this group is because they have an interest in the law of attraction and learning how to use the law of attraction to create things consciously. So I kept that in mind. So there's a little bit in there that you'll hear, but mainly it's just a space and time for us to come together and get deeply relaxed.
Very cool.
My instruction would be make sure that you are in a place that you can relax, that you can be undisturbed, turn your cell phone off.
Unless you're listening to the podcast. But, other than that.
Yeah, right. Don't turn it off if that's how you're connected to us. I have a landline in my office, and I always have to make sure to, put it somewhere else so it won't ring in the middle of something like this. But also, my disclaimer always is, of course, if you're listening to the podcast on a headset on your cell phone and you're like walking around, that's not a good idea.
Right.
If you're driving a car.
Definitely not driving a car. No, don't do that. Please don't do that. Please.
I tell this funny story. I used to take this yoga class, and the music that the instructor was playing one day was just really gorgeous music, and the music was different chants. And some of them, and all of a sudden, I'm a Hebrew teacher, and all of a sudden I recognized that one of them was in Hebrew. And so I went up to her afterwards and said, "Oh, that was beautiful. Like, this whole CD you're playing is gorgeous." And so she gave it to me. And so I told a friend about it, and she listened to it and said, "Oh, all that music is so beautiful." But keep in mind, the chanting and the music in the CD was for meditation. That's why the yoga teacher was using it, so we'd all be relaxed. Well, months down the road, my friend has this CD in her car, and she picks me up because we're going to drive somewhere and meet another friend that lives way out in the country, like way out there where the instructions are like, go quarter mile and turn when you see this. There's no street signs or anything, and we've never been there before. And we're driving down this highway, and we're expecting that any time we're going to start seeing these directions, and all of a sudden we're listening to this CD. The CD is playing, and we're excited. We're talking excitedly about seeing our friend we haven't seen and what we're going to do and blah, blah, blah. And then we're talking a little less excitedly, and then we're not really talking at all.
Oh, God.
And then we're just really quiet, and we're just driving, and all of a sudden, shouldn't we be there by now? And we had both just completely spaced out, and she had driven, like 30 minutes down the road where we should have turned back there. And we still laugh about it today. It's like, oh, this is why you're not supposed to operate machinery.
Right. Exactly.
So I always make sure and say, when I record a meditation or when I lead one that's via phone or the internet where I can't see the people, if you're trying to listen and do something else at the same time, either take a break from what you're doing or listen later to the recording.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
You don't want anyone driving off, the side of a road or anything while they're trying to listen.
I mean, it's not like people have any help auto-hypnotizing themselves while driving an automobile. We just don't need to encourage it more. That's all.
Right. And that's one of the first things that you learn when, you're learning about hypnosis is that we actually, one of my things I remember is that all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. So and that's another thing is, if you've never done a meditation and you're nervous about it, remember that you're in control. You're following my voice, but you're in control. You can open your eyes at any time. You can stop at any time. There's nothing scary about it. Nothing weird's going to happen. It's just a very simple guided meditation. But sometimes people are nervous if they've never done one before and they don't understand what's going to happen. So just make sure you're comfortable somewhere where you won't be disturbed, somewhere where you can shut your eyes. You don't have to lie down. I think it's best to be seated, especially if you're someone who's sleep deprived and there's a chance that you might just conk out and go to sleep. When people do fall asleep, I've had people say to me, I try to meditate, but every time I try, I fall asleep. That's an indication that you're needing sleep more than you're needing meditation. And so that's okay. But yeah. I find that sitting in a chair with my feet flat on the ground, my hands resting in my lap, that's a really nice posture for meditation, sitting up. You can still get deeply relaxed, and yet there's less chance that you're going to doze off.
Very good thing. By the way, Alex King, who does the Tuesday afternoon podcast with me, mentioned and noticed that you have your camera off, and I'm actually going to be turning my camera off because we want to make sure that the video doesn't interfere with the meditation experience. We don't want people watching the video instead of focusing on what it is you're going to be saying. So I'm actually going to turn my camera off right now, and that way we won't have any distractions that people will be looking at on the phone.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I had even talked to Walt before when we were planning this, and I said, I'd prefer to have cameras off just because that way people feel more comfortable closing their eyes and they don't have that fear of missing out, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, is something going on the screen that I should be watching? No, this is a time to just be able to close your eyes and not worry about what's going on the screen. So, Walt, whenever you give me the okay, I'm ready to go.
I'm ready at this end. I've turned my video off, so take it away, Cindy.
Okay. All right. So, this is a meditation where you will allow yourself to deeply relax. Well, I want to point that out because you have the power to allow yourself this wonderful treat today of being deeply relaxed. So first, just be sure you're in a comfortable place where you won't be disturbed. And you can lie down if you'd like to, but like I said before, being in a place where you're seated with your feet flat on the ground, because that way you're grounded, and your hands can just rest in your lap if that's comfortable for you, but just make sure you're as comfortable as possible. So once you get seated, you may want to sort of wiggle a little bit, just make sure that you can be still, but that it feels good to you and you're comfortable. All right? So now I just want you to follow my voice as I lead you into a place of deep relaxation. It's an amazing feeling to deeply relax. So as you get comfortable in that place, just allow your eyes to gently close. And we're going to start with taking a few deep breaths in to a count of 3. Just 1, 2, 3. And then exhale fully. And then again, another deep breath. 1, 2, 3. And then exhale as fully as you can. And then we're going to do that one more time. Breathing in, and if you can this time, exhale with a sigh. Just, And now just continue to breathe comfortably. There's no need to try to breathe super deeply or to count or anything. Just breathe in a way that's comfortable for you. And just for now, just allow yourself to let go of all the ideas that bring you stress or tension. If you'd like to pick those ideas back up afterwards, they'll probably still be available. But just for now, just know that this time of relaxation is for you. This is your time to relax. And all of those things that are on your list that you might have to do later, things you don't want to forget about, we'll just make the intention right now that you won't forget about a thing, but that you can set those things aside and they'll all be waiting for you later. It's such an amazing feeling to deeply relax. So as you continue to breathe comfortably, just bring your awareness to the top of your head. Imagine that you can relax your scalp just by bringing your awareness to the top of your head. And as you breathe in and out, bring your awareness to your forehead. Relax. Just imagine your forehead relaxing. All those tiny little muscles around your eyes, relax them. If you can imagine that at the top of your head is a white light, it's very soft, and the light is shining down on you, almost flowing like water. And as it slowly shines down, everywhere it touches begins to relax. Your head and your forehead, and now your cheeks relax, and your jaw. Stress can cause us to hold so much tension in our jaw area. So for now, just give your jaw permission to relax. You may want to thank your jaw for doing such a great job of holding that stress for you. But right now, just allow your jaw to relax. You can bring your awareness now to your cheeks. That beautiful soft light as it flows down to your cheeks. Just allow your face, your lips, your nose to relax. As you continue breathing and relaxing, just bring your awareness to the back of your head and the sides of your head. Relax. Bringing your awareness now to your neck and your shoulders. This is another place that's very common for tension and stress to build up. Right now, as you bring your awareness to your neck and your shoulders, just notice any tension and just allow your neck and shoulders to become very relaxed. It's such an amazing feeling to deeply relax. As you continue breathing easily and allowing your head, neck, and shoulders to relax, you'll notice the relaxing feeling continuing as this soft light shines on your back, your chest, your upper arms. Just allow these areas to relax. Now you can imagine that you are in a bubble. And inside this bubble is peace and safety. And you are free to completely relax as this beautiful light flows down your midsection, your hips and your pelvic region. Relax. Your lower arms and your hands, even your fingertips, feel deeply relaxed. And it's such an amazing feeling to deeply relax. Your upper legs are beginning to relax. Your knees, your calves, your ankles now. And as you bring your awareness to your feet, you'll notice that even your feet are deeply relaxing. Your toes are relaxed. Even the bottoms of your feet feel so very relaxed. As you enjoy this relaxing feeling, just allow it to deepen as you breathe easily. It's such an amazing feeling to be so deeply relaxed. Imagine now that as you are relaxing, things in your life are relaxing as well. Circumstances and events are beginning to fall into place. In your relaxed state, you begin to attract people and opportunities that benefit your well-being. Your body systems are benefiting from your state of deep relaxation. Such an amazing feeling to be deeply relaxed. All of the rushing and hurrying seems so unnecessary now. There is plenty of time for everything to happen perfectly now that you are deeply relaxed. There is no need for struggle or worrying when you are deeply relaxed. Notice as your relaxation deepens that your mind feels clear and peaceful. Your body has energy to heal and rest now. Your mind can focus on thoughts that create the things you desire. You have the power to create a fulfilling future. What a wonderful feeling to be so deeply relaxed. Doors are opening, and opportunities are ready for you now. You can allow your dreams to come true. You will notice, as you relax, that your body and mind are experiencing a renewing of the energy you need to accomplish everything you set out to do today and tomorrow. It's such an amazing feeling to be deeply relaxed. As you relax, you may have a creative idea come forth. As you relax, you may find the answer to a question you've had. As you allow your body and mind to deeply relax, your natural genius will come forth to give you answers and new perspectives. Your mind is clear. Your body feels stronger now. You feel wonderful in this deeply relaxed state. Now that you have allowed yourself to enjoy this place of deep relaxation, you will notice throughout the day that you are filled with new energy and peace. You will be aware of possibilities. You will feel like everything is new, and you will notice opportunities you may have missed before. It's a wonderful thing to be so deeply relaxed. And even once you are back in the flow of daily life, you will still be able to tap into this renewed energy of deep relaxation to benefit you from the peace you now feel. Now, as you continue to breathe, I want you to imagine that you're in a very comfortable place and that you notice next to you is a book. And somehow you know that when you open this book, no matter where you open the book, regardless of what page it opens to, there is a special message for you there. Something from your inner being. A word of encouragement from your higher self. something that will bring a smile to your face. So imagine as you breathe and relax that you're opening the book, and just make a note of what you see there on the page. As you continue to breathe and relax, just remember that you have the power to create a fulfilling future. Doors are opening and opportunities are everywhere. You can tap into this feeling of relaxation and non-resistance at any time. In a moment, I will begin to count you out with a count from 1 to 5. At the count of 5, you will feel awake and refreshed, ready to continue on with your daily schedule. You will feel a calm, useful energy. For now, just bring your awareness to your hands and your feet. 1. Wiggle your fingers and toes just a bit as you begin to notice the temperature in the room. 2. Coming out slowly. 3. Continuing to feel the peacefulness and clarity, knowing that you can revisit this amazing feeling of relaxation anytime you need to. 4. Stretching gently just a little bit. Maybe move your head from side to side. 5. Eyes open, wide awake, feeling refreshed and renewed from this time of deep relaxation. Welcome back.
Very nice. I actually was starting to doze off during that. Your technique was so good. I had to stop myself because I also had to be checking video and so forth. No, I can't get deep into the meditation. It was effective. It was working.
Very good. Very good. The other day, we were driving in the car and my driver was a little stressed. And I started saying, everything is fine. He said, no, don't start talking to me in your meditation voice. I'm driving the car. So I'm glad that was effective. I'm curious if anyone has any questions or if anyone would like to share about their experience.
Yeah, I mean, feel free to either comment if you're listening on the live stream, to put in the comments whatever comment you'd like to share, or if you're listening to the podcast recording, either leave a comment on the webpage or go through any of your favorite social media, tweet a comment to us, put something on your Facebook timeline and your Instagram, whatever you want, but let us know what you're thinking of this, because we will definitely be checking to see what people are saying, and we appreciate all of the input. Well, I've seen a couple comments already. Vladimira said, came in late. I will watch again. Thank you for the meditation with 3 little smiley faces. So you're welcome, Vladimira.
Very good. Nice. I'm always curious. Occasionally when I do a meditation, when I lead a group in a meditation, I like to put a space in there like I did with the book, a space for maybe a message from our inner being.
Mm.
And sometimes people are willing to share what that was, and that's always kind of cool. So not pressuring anyone to share that, because I know that's a lot of times that's personal, but sometimes people want to, so feel free.
Yeah, that'd be really curious to see what people are thinking. I actually am going to replay the meditation myself when I can actually do the full relaxation, because when you got to that part, I was intrigued. I was wondering, like, okay, I wonder what people are thinking at this point. I wonder what I would be thinking at this point. Because, like I said, I mean, I was really close to just, being under your spell, so to speak. I had to pull myself out so I could, run the board. But I imagine there's something that's going to be kind of cool waiting for me when I actually get to relax and enjoy the full meditation.
Yeah, I noticed that that when lately on the podcast we've been reading Neville Goddard, and Neville talks a lot about imagination and using our imagination. And we hear a lot about visualization and dreaming, and, also there are different types of meditation besides this type of relaxation meditation that I would actually put into the category of prayer and sleep. So there's so many things that happen in this process with our brain. And it really does put our brain in a place where we can focus and have clarity. And most importantly, I think, non-resistance. Absolutely.
By the way, a couple more comments. We've got Deb commented, "Thank you. I'm not sure if I slept or if I just went so deep that I don't remember the middle of the meditation," and a big smiley face at the end. So you were
excellent,
very effective, no doubt about
it. Yes. Very good.
And Vladimir commented one more time. She says, I do meditate every single day. Helps me with lots of any drama in my life. Loved it. So there's another piece of feedback for you.
Oh, I like that, that it helps with drama in our life. Yes, absolutely.
It really does.
The truth is that in any given situation, the energy that is the clearest will be the strongest. Mm-hmm. Right? So it helps when our energy is really clear, because when our energy is really clear, our mind is clear, and we're relaxed, then that's going to be the strongest energy. So when that calm, useful, relaxed energy is there, it's hard for drama to pop up, really.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true.
Even when it's not coming from us, right? Because if our relaxed energy is what's the strongest, then we won't have a trouble with that, or we won't have as much trouble with it. So that's a good comment. I like that idea.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm also reminded that in the back of the Abraham Hicks book, Ask and It Is Given, they have those 22 processes for people to do to help raise their vibration, get into a better feeling space. And I think it's process number 6 or process number 7, I can't remember which one, is meditation. And one of the things that I remember most about it is, you remember how each of the processes, they tell you, okay, depending on where you are on the emotional guidance scale, if you're like, at a 6, and this particular process is for people who are between a 4 and a 10, so that would be an appropriate process for you. Well, meditation is for every single step on the scale, so it doesn't matter where you are on the emotional guidance scale. Meditation is appropriate for all of them. That's one of only 2 processes, I believe, that are good for all places on the scale. So no matter how depressed you are, no matter how joyously happy you are, or anywhere in between, meditation's appropriate.
You know what I think about that is that, I hear Esther saying to someone in the hot seat, right? She said something like, oh, you don't need more. And it's like fill in the blank. Right? Oh, you don't need whatever the person thinks they need, right? I need more money, or I need my health to be better, or I need my, relationship to be better. No, you don't need more of that. You need less resistance. And in any given situation, less resistance is always going to be a good thing, right?
It is.
So that makes sense that wherever we are on the emotional scale, that meditation is going to be useful there. Do you remember off the top of your head what the other thing was that was useful for every place on the emotional scale?
No, I don't think I do. I'd have to, let's check the book. I've got the book right here. Let's see if I can find it. Can I find it? And can I find it quickly enough? I don't know.
I don't know, but it's sort of like, we've talked about this before, when stress is a symptom of shallow breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Because we often want to think it's the other way around. But
that's true.
Stress happens because our breathing is shallow. And so we can take quite a few really deep breaths inside of like 30 seconds. Even if you were breathing so deeply that, 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, that's 3 good breaths. And so it doesn't take much time. And that's sort of the beginning of meditation or relaxation, is just breathe. You see these little memes everywhere. It's like, breathe, when things are stressful, breathe. But sometimes we have to remind ourselves that we need to breathe in a deeper way. And so, that's my go-to.
That's a good one.
No matter where I am. Yeah.
I did find it.
So,
the other one is evaluating dreams. That's the other one that's good for all steps.
Well, that's amazing that you brought that up because,
why?
Because I think, I create a product, every month that centers around being in alignment with the moon phases.
Mm-hmm.
And every month, one of the things that goes into this little basket of digital goodies is an LOA, tool. And that's the one I chose for this month.
Oh.
Was dream work. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even know that it was one of those, and I didn't know that it was one that could be used no matter where you are. So, awesome.
Yeah, very good.
A little wink from the universe.
There you go. That's it. Yeah. By the way, why don't you take a moment to tell people about where they can find out about that little series that you do, because there's probably going to be some people who might be interested in that.
Well, they can go to my website, cindiechavez.com, CINDIECHAVEZ, and I offer it over there. The new one comes out on the new moon, so it'll be out the beginning of next week. And it's one of the things that I found that helped my manifestation practice a great deal was understanding the lunation cycle and making powerful intentions on the new moon and having certain practices for the full moon. And I taught a course on it for a while, and then I realized I just wanted to use some of my other talents to create something. And for a long time, I just couldn't figure out what it was. And then it hit me. It's like, okay, what are the things I like to do? I love to draw. And so I do some hand-drawn journal pages, and I record a special meditation each month with beautiful music and some other magical things I throw in there. And I always have an LOA tool. And so I put one together for every new moon, and it walks the person all the way through until the next new moon when I do another one. So, yeah, it's fun. I would love people to check that out.
Yeah.
For sure.
Now, how long have you been doing guided meditations? I mean, clearly you are quite experienced at this. And I know you confided to me earlier. You've been writing them for people and so forth, so you definitely have experience. 10 years? Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
I mean, I've been meditating longer than that, but I've been writing meditations and leading guided meditations for about 10 years. And what's funny is that I write meditation scripts. I have written them occasionally, and I haven't done it in a while. Like, I don't even know who I'm writing them for, because somebody sort of somebody brokers this to me, right? Somebody reached out to me and said, would you be willing to write a meditation? I've got this gig where this big company that produces meditations needs a script writer, and I don't have time to do it, and would you do it? And could you show me, they listened to my meditation, said, oh yeah, could you do it? I said, sure. I haven't done it in a really long time, and then the day that you asked me to do this live guided meditation, and I said, yeah, and I thought about that. I was like, that is so much fun. The next day I got an email from that person that said, I haven't reached out to you for a long time, but I was wondering.
Of course.
And I said, yes, I would. And so I wrote this one for today. And what's really funny is that it hasn't ever happened, but a friend of mine, like I don't connect with all that often, reached out to me about a year ago and said, oh, I thought of you because I found this great meditation app or something. And she said, there's so many meditations and they have guided meditations, and I thought of you. Well, she didn't know I was writing meditations or actually recording them. She had just been in a meditation that I had led before. And I thought, oh my goodness, it would be really weird if I bought a meditation app and started listening and I had written the meditation. Like, wait a minute.
Yep.
It hasn't happened yet, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, especially since you're putting it out there right now. I mean, talk about applying law of attraction. First I contact you about doing this guided meditation for this. You get was it a phone call the next day or something like that?
Yeah, right.
Definite law of attraction going on there. No doubt.
Things like that. I'm really kind of used to that happening in my life. And when it's not happening, I feel like something's wrong. So, love the synchronicities that happen.
By the way, Vladimir asked for a link to your website, so I pasted that into the chat. So anyone who wants to find Cindie's website without having to go type it into a browser, just click the link. It's right there.
Thank you so much. That's wonderful. Yes. Yeah. And I always say this on the podcast. I know we say it, every time we do a podcast, but it's really true. We love it when people reach out to us, whether it's at my website or whether you reach out to us on the loatoday.net website or wherever. It's or here on Facebook or whatever. It's wonderful to hear from you and hear what's going on with you. Hear about your experiences with law of attraction, or like we always say, if you've got a place where you feel a little bit stuck, or you'd like to ask a question, or you want to say, this is what's going on. How would you, what do you suggest? I love all that. I'd love to.
Oh, absolutely.
To hear,
Yeah. In fact, we're also in the process. And when I say in the process, I mean, we just started today. That's where we are in the process. But we're in the process of starting to put together kind of a calendar of events for November, which with the help of Selena and Jamie, we're going to pin a post at the top of the group so that people can see when the events are happening, and they'll be able to click on links. If they want to go to event A, they can click on the link for event A and so forth. So you'll want to be paying attention and watching in the group. I can't tell you exactly when that's going to go up because we're still putting it together, but watch for it because that way you'll be able to find out about all the events that we're planning. We're hoping to do quite a few, and we want to make it as available to as many people as we can. So
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
That's exciting.
I'm
loving everything that we're doing.
I'm not even ready to give you any more details than this, but I'll say this. We're also talking about doing some weekend events because people tend to be home more on the weekend. So we're thinking, well, maybe if they're home more, maybe it's easier for them to hook into an event on the weekend. So when are these events going to be on the weekend? Don't know yet. Haven't figured that out, but that is part of the thought process. And if you have anything in mind that you might want to share right now, like you'd love to see event of this kind, put it in the chat, put it into the comments underneath the video here, and we'll pick it up and we'll include that in our thought process.
I'm imagining when you say, we're talking about putting together a calendar with different things, and we're talking about doing some things on the weekend. It just hit me. I'm like, oh, we're talking about this because there's someone out there that's already putting out a vibration of, I sure wish there was something going on the weekend.
That's true, yeah. Probably
Right?
many more than one, I would think.
Yeah, well, it has to be because everything that happens is, in response to someone's vibration.
That's right.
Yay.
Yeah.
Keep those good vibes coming.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Very good.
I wanted to ask you, you're obviously great at leading meditations, but you've probably also enjoyed being led by others who do guided meditations. Can you remember anything about your favorite meditations that you got led on?
Oh my goodness, that's such a good question. I actually don't listen to guided meditations all that much anymore. I do a lot of Tonglen meditation and metta meditation, which are Buddhist forms of meditation, which in my mind, they feel so much more like a prayer because a lot of times they're centered on other people, on imagining other people experiencing joy and healing and freedom from pain and suffering and that kind of thing. So I really like those types of meditation. Tonglen meditation is really nice. It literally means taking and sending. And that one, when you're breathing in, you are taking someone else's suffering on, and when you're breathing out, you're breathing peace or, whatever to them, pain relief or whatever it is. I like those types of meditations. I like quiet sitting meditation. And I don't use guided meditation all that much. So I'm trying to remember of the ones that I that I used in the beginning, like what really stands out to me. And I think, I can't remember specifically, but there was one meditation, it was maybe the first one that I ever listened to, and the person had a space in there for recognizing that a message might come to you. And I don't even remember what it was, but I remember the powerful effect of it. And I also have done a guided meditation where I had the very same experience that we just heard about in the chat. And that was that, you know, all of a sudden I realized that the person leading the meditation said, eyes open, wide awake. And I was like, oh, I don't think I went to sleep, but where did that come from? That came, and what that is, I know that now, is that no, you didn't go to sleep. You were in a place of very deep relaxation, and part of your brain was hearing the meditation. Because that's why you heard the very soft, eyes open, wide awake.
True.
Right? If my voice wasn't already waking you up, then that wouldn't have woken you up, but it's a deeper level there that you're experiencing. And I do remember that, and I remember that happening pretty often. But the thing is that afterwards, the effects of that deep relaxation, they just last. They don't stop right there.
Yeah.
Our bodies, when they're in that state of deep relaxation, a lot of physical healing can occur, and that space in our mind where we feel clear, and just non-resistance in general.
Yeah.
So I don't remember specific, I don't remember, and I haven't listened to a guided meditation in quite a while.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I was just curious.
Yeah, but I do know that I like those spaces where the person leading it will allow a space for something special to come. Something, and so I put those in all of the meditations that I write.
And then with your own meditations, because you talked about how you do frequently meditate, do you, obviously it's not guided, you're kind of guiding yourself in a sense, but do you kind of guide yourself along the same pattern that you guided us during this meditation through the chakras
absolutely.
and all that?
Yeah. And I will say something that I found that was interesting is, as a meditator, I started with guided meditations, listening to someone else guide me. Now I do exactly that. I guide myself. I mean, I actually have the words going on, right? I'm imagining. It's almost like my inner voice is just guiding me through the same process. And at some point, meditation became really easy for me because I was practiced at it, right? And so gradually I stopped doing that beginning part where you relax, where you take the time to relax, you know, your eyes and your nose and all the way down. I just started skipping that and going right to the other parts. And over time I realized, my magic powers seemed to diminish a little bit.
So there was value to those steps that you were skipping.
Realized that, oh wow, that during the times when I really take that extra 5 to 10 minutes to relax from the head down all the way through the body, that is when I get some really amazing results. And so I went back to that and started always not skipping that part. So
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That
but it
makes
was
sense.
like anything else. It's like it was over time when I look back. Like recently, you'll know this about me, that for more than 10 years I've read Neville. And of course I don't read Neville every day. It's like, you know, sometimes I haven't read Neville for a year or so because I'm reading other things. I mean, I'm always learning new things and reading new things, but at some point I always go back to Neville. He really is my favorite. And at some point I recognized in the past month, I mean, I looked back and I thought, oh wow, like in the same way that maybe you eat something and then it, you know, gives you a headache or a rash or something. And it's like one day you go, oh my goodness, it's the strawberries.
Oh, right.
Every time I eat a strawberry, I have a reaction. It's kind of like that, but in a good way. I realized,
That's right, fortunately.
I realized, oh my goodness, like every time in my life where things are really amped up and I feel like I'm just like manifesting things left and right, like, wow. It's always been a period of time where I've been reading Neville. And that always corresponds to a period of time where I'm also meditating, because of Neville's methods are so connected to deep relaxation, to meditation, to doing dream work, to using the imagination in a relaxed state. And so I don't think you can really separate the two, because once again, law of attraction doesn't work in theory. It works in practice.
Very
so we
true.
can read all the books we want, and if we don't put it into practice, nothing's going to happen. We can read Neville all day, and if we're not practicing. So it's that practice that's kind of connected that I've recognized gets me the best results. It may be something different for someone else, but that's what's worked for me so far.
Yeah, sure. I'm reminded of the fact that you and I are currently working on our third Neville book, which we started, I guess we started last week. But the first one that we did fully was Awakened Imagination, and I believe that's the book where he actually lays out how his process starts just before you're ready to go to sleep. So tying in directly to what you're talking about, that it really is very closely related in that sense.
Right, and we started with the Feeling Neville book this week, and so we're going to continue. I mean, if you want to listen and you haven't so far, we've only done 2 podcasts so far on that book this week, and the next time that we pick it up, which will be next Tuesday morning, he's talking about sleep, and so he's going to get back.
So we're going back to that again.
He's going to get back to that place. So yeah, the moon phases and Neville Goddard and meditation, those are all that's the braid of my practice right there.
Okay. Well, all right. Now we have a good insight.
I sprinkle it generously with everything else, but those are the things that I don't let go of.
Yeah.
that cause the best results.
Well, I tell you, with the discussions we've had about the Neville books, you've got me much more interested than I was before in Neville Goddard. That plus your Neville decoder ring, which helps an awful lot when it comes to translating some of this stuff. Yeah. And I'm actually growing my own Neville decoder ring. That's one of the advantages of listening to the podcast. You actually do learn how to understand it after a while, which is a good thing.
Yes. Yeah, you do. It takes a while sometimes because he's very esoteric and he uses common vernacular that means something completely different.
Yes.
It's completely different. So once you start getting what he's saying, it's kind of like learning a new language. You're right, but it makes sense. Mm-hmm. It does make sense. At some point, it's like learning algebra, right? At some point, you go, oh, I get it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the light goes on. Absolutely.
The light goes on.
And by the way, I want to remind people, if you're not yet a subscriber, that's the best way to get all of these episodes coming to your favorite listening device, smartphone usually for most people, including all of the podcast episodes we've done that Cindie and I have done together talking about the Neville books. And you can actually go back and play the old ones too as well. So, become a subscriber. The links are in both the Facebook group where this live stream event has taken place. You can just look in the description. You'll find links there. Also, if you're finding us through our regular podcast setup, whether it's on iTunes or on an Android phone, almost all the devices that are out there will pick up the description that we put in for it, and the description there also contains links to subscribing on either an iPhone or an Android. So, please take advantage, and it just walks you right through the steps for subscribing. But you get all of the episodes of our show coming directly to your smartphone every single day. We're doing 11 of them a week, so there's a lot of episodes to come to your phone. You got a lot to choose from.
That's a lot of good information, right?
It is,
it's a lot of good vibes. That's what it is. Just good energy. Waiting for you.
Yeah.
I've had several people reach out to me and say, I'm one of your binge listeners.
Yes. I love that.
Okay.
It's almost secondhand now, but I remember the first time that I think you were the one who told us we had somebody saying they were a binge listener. And I said, oh wow, we have binge listeners. I can't believe this. We actually have binge listeners.
Awesome. I imagine that they just wait until the weekend or something and go, okay, now I'm going to listen to,
probably, yeah,
all these podcasts in a row, which is really, really great.
Yep.
The vibe lifter for sure.
Absolutely. Well, let's see. We only have a few minutes left. Trying to think. We've done our promos. Trying to think what else we need to get in to mention. Oh, well, we do have, I haven't announced them, and that's my fault. I really should be announcing stuff well in advance. But with Linda Armstrong, we are planning on Friday. Linda Armstrong and Carlos Balsquide and I are all going to have a special event where we try to kind of engage a group of people who are interested. Hopefully we'll have enough people to do it in kind of like what you were talking about, Cindy, where you can do like a prayer of healing and that kind of thing. Well, I'm not sure exactly how we're going to point it, but we're going to try to focus on one thing and see if we can get group energy going to heal something or to energize somebody or something. We're not quite sure what yet. So, and if there's any volunteers or anybody has any ideas on where you want us to point this group energy, let us know. But yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. There's definitely power in group energy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it was
that's
Linda.
Exciting.
It is. Yeah, it is. That might even be an ongoing thing. We may turn that into a regular event, especially if we can get some good interest on the first one. And I think it was Linda who told me about the book. What's it called? The Power of Eight, I think it is.
Yes. Yes.
Or were you the one who told me about that? I can't remember who told me about that one.
It's possible that I told you about it.
Okay.
The interesting thing is, I think it's Lynn McTaggart's book.
Right.
I haven't read it.
Oh.
But I haven't. But the thing is that I had been working on putting together a group program, a small group, and my idea was that if we have a small group that's consistent and intentional about pointing our energy at one of the group members' needs, all in agreement, I really think that that's where we're going to see some power. And the week that I started thinking about that, I think Amazon sent me an email and mentioned, oh, here's a book for you. And it was The Power of Eight.
Oh, really?
Eight's my favorite, and eight's my favorite number, right? And so I was like, what is this? And so I read about the book. And, I mean, I was familiar with her work. And so a couple of weeks later, somebody invited me to a group because they wanted to have a small group of people focusing on a need they had.
Wow.
I was like, oh, wow, it's just like all at once, just kept happening. And so I'm very excited about it because I know it works. So that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Yay.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a really good experiment to do and see how it all plays out. I've thought about it in the past. I've thought about wouldn't it be cool if, and I kept looking around like waiting for somebody else to do it. And only very recently did it occur to me, well, we've got a podcast. I can get this thing started.
There you go.
What was I waiting for?
You are the person you've been waiting for.
I am the person, yes. Oh, it's fun.
Excellent.
It's fun. So,
This
yeah.
has been fun. I'm glad we had some people that got deeply relaxed. And,
Yeah, including your lead co-host here, because I was practically falling asleep while I'm supposed to be manning the board. It's like, oh, jeez.
I actually had this thought, what if we get finished and like, Walt, are you there?
We weren't all that far from there, actually. I mean, I would have been glad to have the countdown, or the count back from 1 to 5 that you did at the end. That would have helped, I'm sure.
That's funny. I kept the count in there.
Yes, oh, absolutely. So this has been really good, really enjoyable. I'm very glad that you did it. Thanks for taking the time to write this thing and to perform it for us, because
of course,
it takes work to do, but it was very worthwhile. And I'm sure there were a lot of people I know who wanted to be able to see this and couldn't see it, so they'll be listening to the replay. And so on their behalf, thank you very much for doing it.
Very good. And if you listen to the replay, still give us some feedback and say hello and wave at us and give us a shout on social media and let us know how it went for you.
Absolutely. So, okay, well, it's been great. I look forward to reconnecting with you next Tuesday when we'll pick up the Neville books again.
I'll be there.
All right. And we hope that you all will join us as well for not only that podcast, but all the podcasts we do here on All the Way Today. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.